Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This episode is one of many released every month, totaling over 80 episodes so far. Each one is meticulously digitally restored and stored in the cloud for your convenience, a process that incurs costs. To help cover these expenses, you might hear some advertisements throughout the episode. While we do retain the original commercials for historical authenticity, you may also encounter modern ads, which help keep the lights on. If you prefer an ad-free experience, we offer a couple options. You can listen to the episodes on YouTube. You can also support us by becoming a patron on our Patreon page. For more information, go to otrwesterns.com/donate. Again, otrwesterns.com/donate. I do want to emphasize that we are committed to providing this content to you for free, but also we have to be transparent about the financial realities to bringing this to you. Now, let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. Original air date is January 23rd, 1948, and the title is Steam Pressure. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo, Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver! Let's go, big fellow! I'll Silver! Hoy! Jim Wynant had gone into the West as an engineer and had helped construct the Union Pacific tracks and bridge in the vicinity of Frontier Town. When this task was finished, he and his wife went into the Enchanted Hills and found a promising-looking claim. They spent much of their savings to tunnel into the hill in search of gold, and then Jim ran into trouble with the men who worked for him. Jim built a donkey engine just inside the tunnel's wide mouth.
Now she's pretty near ready to go. Watch that pressure gauge, Mary.
Jim, do you think it'll work?
Of course it'll work. It's the same principle as the engines used by Union Pacific, only this one doesn't run on tracks. I'll show Scar Fenner he can't make me meet his terms.
Oh, Jim, if only you could get along without him and his friends.
I'll get along without them, and it'll serve them right.
Just how How does your engine work?
Well, you see this rope running around the big wheel?
Yes.
That rope runs straight back into the tunnel where it goes around another wheel. The rope is fastened to a cart. When the engine works, this wheel turns and pulls the cart loaded with ore out of the tunnel. I'll just unload the cart into the wagon, then reverse the engine, and the empty cart will go back for another load.
Oh, Jim, it's wonderful. How soon do you think it'll be ready to try?
I'll throw in a little more wood. The steam pressure will be up in no time.
Jim.
Yeah?
Scar Fenner's coming.
Let him come. I'll let him see what I've got in here.
I do hope he doesn't make trouble.
He won't.
Hey there, Winans. I want to talk to you.
Go ahead and start talking.
Steady. What's that crazy-looking contraption?
Steam engine.
Steam engine, huh?
What do you want here, Scar?
I just dropped by to see if you'd thought over the proposition I made you.
I gave you my answer to that.
Well, maybe you'd change your mind. Me and the boys gave you a fair deal.
Listen to me, Fenner. When you and the rest worked here, I paid what we agreed, didn't I?
Yeah, that's water over the dam.
The men were satisfied and willing to stick with me until we got the pay dirt out. Then you talked to them.
We're entitled to a share in the profit.
Not unless you share the risks. When you started, I made you men two propositions. The first was that you'd work for a share of the mine. The second, that I'd pay you in cash. You took the cash.
Why should we gamble our time for nothing?
Now that the pay dirt is exposed and ready to haul out, you want a share in the mine.
Why not?
Well, you won't get it.
Now, look here, Winans. We know where we stand. You can't get the pay dirt out without men to haul it.
I'll get it out.
You just try. I suppose you think that contraption there will take the place of men.
Stick around and see. I'm going to try it right now. I've got a little cart loaded with ore away back in the tunnel. As soon as I start this engine, the cart will be hauled out. Here it goes.
That won't ever work.
It will so. It is working. The rope is moving.
There. See that? You tell the men if they want to come back to work, I'll hire them at the same price as before. If they don't want to work, they can go hang. I'll use the machinery.
You won't get away with it, Winans.
No, take a look. Here comes the cart, bringing you as much ore as 6 men could move. I beat you, Scar. Beat you to a finish.
The Lone Ranger, his nephew Dan Reed, and Tonto reined up near the crest of the hill when they heard strange sounds from somewhere beyond.
Golly, it sounds just like a steam engine.
It is a steam engine. That, Dan, is something new in the Enchanted Hills.
Oh, it's plenty new.
We'll investigate. Come on, Silver.
Come on, Victor.
Scar Fenner had left the mouth of the tunnel after seeing a demonstration of Jim's donkey engine. Jim and his wife were jubilant and didn't notice the masked man or his companions as the trio approached and halted at the tunnel's mouth.
All right, Mary, shut it off.
There, is that right?
That's a ticket, Mary. Oh, you can run this engine just as well as I can. That's the third load we've brought from the tunnel. And each load represents the work of 6 men.
Now all you've got to do is transfer the ore from the cart to the wagon.
Someday maybe I can make a machine to do that.
Jim, look.
Great day.
That man, he's masked.
We're interested in that engine.
Are you some new members of Scar Fenner's gang?
We're members of nobody's gang. Oh, isn't your name Winans?
Yes. How'd you know?
The padre near the border told me about you.
The padre? Then you must be... Jim, the white horse, the mask. This is the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger? Well, if ever I was glad to see a man, this is the time.
Oh, who is Scar Fenner?
He was the leader of the men who worked here. They thought I couldn't get along without him. Well, I'll show them. I've rigged up this engine, and I'm going to pull it...
A shot! It hit the boiler.
Look out, that steam's hot.
The engine.
I'll come from that way.
There he is, the dirty skunk.
Dan, fellow, stay here. Easy. Steady, big fella. One fiddle there.
The great white stallion leaped ahead like an arrow from a taut bow. The man who had fired into the tunnel to smash the boiler looked up in alarm at the sight of the masked man riding down on him. He leaped to the saddle and tried to escape, but his dappled gray was no match for the flying hooves of the mighty Silver.
Rein up!
Keep back. Keep away from me.
Rein up!
I'll get you.
Rein up or I'll rope you.
Leave me alone. Let me be, I tell you.
I'll take that gun. Hold there, hold there.
Drop them reins. Leave my horse alone.
Ho, Silver, ho.
You leave me be. I didn't do nothing to you.
You fired a shot into the tunnel.
But I...
Did Scar Fenner tell you to do that?
Now listen, mister. Please let me go.
Answer my question.
I can't tell you. Fenner would kill me.
And
if
Fenner did send you.
I never said so.
Oh, here. Take this cartridge to Scar Fenner. Tell him it's made of silver. Tell him also that the masked man who gave it to you will be fighting on Jim Winant's side.
Yes, sir.
Now get going.
Get up. Home. So there's the bullet he gave me, Scar. And it's silver.
Well, that's it, eh? The Lone Ranger's dealt himself a hand in the Winant business.
Right. I don't like to fight against the Lone Ranger.
What are you afraid of? He don't kill anybody.
But hang it all, he don't need to. He's got other ways to get at men. Why don't we all go back and get our jobs? Jim give them to us.
He won't give us any share of the mine. So we'll take it all.
All?
Scar, you mean that?
I always mean what I say.
Yeah, but how can we get it? It's all registered and recorded and everything. It's in Jim's name.
All we need is Winant's signature to a paper giving us the mine.
All we need...
Strikes me, that's plenty.
Yeah. How can we get that?
You boys stick to me and I'll show you.
The Lone Ranger left Dan Reed with Jim and Mary Winant while he and Tonto rode away. During the next few days, Dan proved helpful to the young engineer.
Sure is fine of you to let me help, Jim.
Glad to have you, Dan.
I've learned a lot about engines as well as mining. If I get in your way, just let me know.
In my way? Oh, great Scott, Dan. You're more help than any one of those other men would be.
Oh, golly, thanks.
I mean it.
I guess the Lone Ranger and Tonto are going to try to learn more about Scar Fenner and his gang.
Yeah. The masked man had a hunch that those hombres had made trouble in other places.
I'll soon have this cart loaded. Will you use the engine to haul it out?
Sure. The two of us couldn't budget without that engine.
Do you think we'll hear any more from Scar?
Dan, that's hard to say. I don't like the way he's been keeping so quiet.
You don't?
I can't shake the feeling that he's up to some deviltry.
But what could he do?
I don't know. He might try to waylay the next load of ore I send to the railroad.
Oh, he couldn't get away with that.
He might be able to. The nearest lawman is Two-Gun Taylor, and he's in Frontier Town.
Lone Ranger will fix Scar Fenner. There. Guess that fills the cart.
Yeah. Leave the pick and shovel here, Dan. We'll go up to the mouth of the tunnel and start the engine.
Yes, sir.
How'd you like to run her?
Oh, golly, that'd be great. I've never
That's
run...
far enough.
Scar Fenner.
So you figured I was too quiet, huh?
Get out of this tunnel.
You thought I was up to something.
What do you want?
You know what I want. I want a deal.
All right. I'll talk to you. This boy's to go. Go ahead, Dan.
Stand still.
Now, see
I'll
here.
give orders, Jim. Backed by a couple of my boys.
That's right.
Winant, maybe you won't savvy what I do. That don't matter. First of all, how long is it since you saw your wife?
You leave Mary out of this.
Here, take a look at this paper. There's light enough coming in the tunnel to read it. It's all drawn up according to law.
What is it?
Read it. It's a bill of sale. I'm buying this hunk of real estate, Jim. Yeah, I'm buying it from you.
Like fun you are.
I'm not fooling. Ask Jake or Hank, they'll tell you.
Scar's not fooled.
You better do what he said, Jim. Read that paper, then sign.
I'll see myself drawn and quartered before I sign this.
Yeah, Jim, I figured you'd say something like that.
It's no use, Fenner.
Now, hold on. You better hear what I got to say. Take a look at this. You recognize it?
Mary's brooch. Why, you...
That'll do. Grab him, boy.
You won't get away with it.
He's a wild
Hang on to him.
Get out, Dan.
Stop that kid. Help me with this maverick.
Yeah, that got him.
Where'd that kid go?
There he goes. Stop him. Get him.
Fools, you dumb galoot. You let the kid get away.
We had our hands full with Jim till Jake knocked him out.
We gotta work fast. That kid'll bring the Lone Ranger. Give me that bucket of water.
Yeah. Here, Scar.
This'll bring Winant around in a hurry.
What?
Get on your feet.
Oh, you...
Yeah, your fighting won't do any good, Jim, because now we gotta work just that much faster. I guess you already savvy that we got Mary a prisoner. Now, if you want her to live, you'll sign that bill of sale and do it right away.
Where is Mary?
You'd like to know, wouldn't you?
If I do sign this, how do I know you'll let it go?
You won't take my word?
Coyotes.
All right. Bring her in, boys.
All right, get in here.
Oh, Jim. Jim, I'm sorry. They came to the house.
Mary, are you all right?
Yes, but they can't make you sign away your mind.
I'll sign whatever they want. They've got us outnumbered. There's no question about how far they'll go to have their own way.
Now you're showing good sense for a change. Here's a pencil.
No, Jim. Jim, don't sign it.
I know what I'm doing, Mary. Here you are, Fenner.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for the gold mine.
You haven't got the mine yet.
Maybe you got notions of riding to frontier town and telling why you signed this. Well, you're not going to do any such thing. Tie 'em both. They're staying right here in this tunnel.
You said that...
I say whatever I have to say to get what I want. If a man's fool enough to believe me, that's his hard luck. Rope 'em, boys, and leave 'em right here.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. The Lone Ranger and Tonto, after several days of travel, had circled back to Jim Wynant's small house. They didn't know that Dan Reed, a couple of hours previously, had set out to look for them. It was after dark when they reined up.
House
all dark.
Steady, big fella. Yes, it looks as if no one's at home, Tonto.
Well, maybe everyone at tunnel.
We'll go there after we've looked inside the house.
Door wide open.
So I see. Tonto, in a struggle here. Get that table and those chairs.
Ah.
All right, come on. Steady, big fella. One, two, let's go.
Meanwhile, Jake and Hank waited with their crooked leader near the entrance to the tunnel.
How long we got to stay here, Scar?
Till that kid brings the Lone Ranger back. Hey, I hear someone coming. Maybe that'll be the critters we're after.
You sure Jim and Mary are tied up tight?
Yeah, I made sure. Hey, one of those horses is white. Good. That's a Lone Ranger, all right enough.
The redskin is with him. But I don't see the kid.
That don't matter. The kid won't make any trouble for us. Now, if they'll just go right into the cave. They're stopping.
Yeah, and dismounting.
Jim! Jim Wynant!
We're inside the tunnel. Help us!
You hear that?
Yeah, Jim's playing right into our hands.
It's all to the good. He don't know we're hiding out here. Just the way I wanted it. Now, boys, we act fast. Yeah. We'll fire the blast, and you two stay here on guard while I go to the land office.
Right. We might help ourselves to their horses.
I'll wait till I get back. And we'll help ourselves to the horses and everything else around here.
It's pitch dark in this tunnel, Tonto.
That's right.
Where, Jim?
Here. Right where we were digging. Hurry, Mary, now. Time.
We're coming. All right, Tonto, light a match. Did Scar tie you?
Yeah, the dirty coyote. Where did Dan find you?
Dan, he didn't find us.
Didn't you see him?
No. Wait a minute. There you are. Now rub your wrist. Did he come after me?
He got away when those crooks came here.
What did Fenner do?
Made me sign a bill of sale. Then tied Mary and me and left us here. Scar's going to record the bill of sale. I've got to get to the land office.
Now, you free.
Oh, thanks, Tonto. Fenner and those men ought to
Save it till later, Mary. We've got to help find Dan Reed.
You saddle up and hurry to town, Jim. Hold on, I'll make a search.
Oh!
Up!
Blast!
Face down, hug the ground. Shoot the girl! Sealed in.
It's Scar Fenner's work.
There must be tons of rock there. We couldn't move it in a year of digging.
You got shovels?
Yeah, Tonto. They wouldn't help.
There's a tiny opening here. I can feel air coming in.
Jim, those men used blasting powder for this.
Sure they did.
Isn't there more of that powder?
I don't know, Mary. It was all in the shed. I hadn't used any for weeks. There's none here in the tunnel.
Tonto, you had a stub of candle. Is it still in your pocket?
Me got it.
Let's have a little light while we look the situation over.
Now I savvy why Scar knew he could get away with this scheme. He intended to get rid of us so we couldn't tell how he got the bill of sale.
Is there any chance of escape?
I don't know, honey. We'll look the rock slide over and see. But I'm afraid there's not...
Here, light.
Oh, it's even worse than I thought.
I remember a ledge that overhung the opening.
Yeah. That's what those crooks blasted. They just dropped that whole ledge in front of the entrance. Let me have a try with that pick.
All right. The pick won't make an impression on those rocks, Jim.
I can see it won't.
Maybe Dan come back. Him see what happened. Go fetch help.
I wonder if Dan can get close enough to help us.
What do you mean?
Scar Fenner may leave men on guard.
Say, Hank, take a look. Isn't that the kid coming back?
Yeah, that's what it is, Jake.
That just about makes everything complete, don't it? Get ready, we'll nail him.
I'm ready.
There's Silver. Come on, Victor.
Now, Hank, rein it up.
Hey, you.
Grab that bridle.
I got it.
Come here, you.
Hey, let me go. I'll show you. Come on, Victor. Fight him. At him, Victor. Show him what Silver will do.
Hang on to that horse.
I got the critter. Hey.
Now, calm down, kid, or I'll blow your head off.
Don't leave me alone.
I got the kid. Help me put a rope on him.
You'll have to fight to do it.
Stop, you're squirming. Won't get you nothing.
Here, I'll fix him.
Yeah, that's it. Hold that rope tight.
You dirty crooks. What'd you do to the Lone Ranger?
You've seen the last of him.
Now, kid, you might as well take it easy. You won't get loose.
Why not shoot him?
No, we gotta keep him till Scar gets back from town.
But that won't be too late tomorrow. He won't be able to get to the office before morning.
All right, then we hold the kid till late tomorrow. Meanwhile, we stay right here to make sure no one else comes by.
Oh, there's no use trying to move that rock by hand. They've got to have blasting powder.
Jim, if there were only a keg of powder you'd overlooked in here.
There isn't, Mary. I'm careful not to have it around.
Jim, how about the steam engine?
How about it? I don't see any way to use it.
I do. It's just inside the entrance, close to the rock, right?
Yeah.
If you can close and block the safety valve, the boiler will explode.
I don't know about that. It's a mighty strong boiler.
All the better. The stronger it is, the more steam pressure it will take to break it.
You mean make the engine blow up?
Yes. We've got to blast our way out of here.
But won't we be killed?
We'll have to run that risk.
We can get far back in the tunnel.
Anything is better than sitting and waiting to starve or suffocate. Come on, Tonto, help me fire up that boiler.
Here, wood.
I've got matches right here. I'll have the fire started in no time.
Is there water in the boiler?
Yeah. I can see the gauge.
I'll help Tonto. You fasten down that safety valve.
I know a way to do it. I'll have it clamped down so nothing will loosen it. Just as soon as this kindling gets started, you can throw in the hardwood.
All right, that'll do. Get at the valve.
Right.
Let me help. I can carry wood, too.
Better find a place as far back as you can get.
I'll stay with you men. When it's too dangerous for me to stay here, you've got to get back.
This'll hold the valve down. Nothing will ever budge it unless I take the clamp off.
Good.
Now, let me fan that fire and get it started faster. If we don't get out of here, those crooks may get Dan Reed.
Yes, I know it.
Oh, Jim, I know. They might kill Dan.
They might. Do you think there's any chance that this'll clear an opening?
I think so, Jim. The air in the tunnel will form a cushion, so the force will have to go out. It may carry those rocks with it.
Fire crackle now. Me fan, too. Plenty soon, fire start to roar.
Doesn't take long to get the steam started.
I'll put more wood in. There. Now let me take a turn at fanning. Jim, you and Mary find the safest place for us back in the tunnel.
The pressure gauge rose slowly at first, and then with constantly increasing speed.
Forward!
Tonto, the Lone Ranger, and Jim took turns fanning the roaring flames and throwing wood into the oven. The needle on the indicator touched the danger point.
Now get back!
I'll stay as long
Jim,
as...
take her back where there's a chance of living through the blast.
What about you?
We'll join you as soon as we build up the fire.
Here, more wood.
Look at the needle. It's 3 notches past the danger point. It'll explode almost any minute.
All right, then, come.
You just wait. The Lone Ranger will get out of there.
You know any more funny stories?
Shut up, kid. We heard enough from you.
Why, now listen, Dan. Why don't you tell us all you know about the Lone Ranger? Who is he? What's his name? You know, maybe if you give us some real facts, the boss will be easy with you.
I won't do it.
Hey, look! There's an explosion at the tunnel.
Great Scott, what happened?
Well, there wasn't any blasted powder, I know that.
Jake, wait a minute. Keep your eye on that tunnel. That explosion did one of two things. It piled more rock around the entrance, or it blew away the rock that was there.
You mean there's a chance that the masked man and the others will get out?
Watch and see.
There he is.
Hey, they're out, they're free!
They're getting the horses.
Over here. Come over here, quick.
Keep still.
They heard him, Jake. They're coming this way.
Now, get your guns out, let them have it. I've got all I can do hanging on to this kid.
Yeah, right.
This way. Here they are. 2 of them.
Shoot some more. You didn't stop them, shoot again.
Yeah, they're coming like grease
Now,
lightning.
drill them, Hank.
I'm trying to.
That's enough from you.
Oh, my arm.
Good for you.
Cover them, Tonto.
Me fix him.
Oh, that's it.
I'll fix this crook.
Did you get him?
Yes. Jim, I'll ride to town and see the Scar Fenner doesn't record that bill of sale. Saddle up and come after me.
Right. But can you get to town in time?
Yes, Fenner can't do anything until the land office opens in the morning. By that time, you'll be in jail.
Oh, Dan. Dan, did they hurt you?
Of course not.
Now you free your rope, Dan.
I wish you'd been here sooner, Jim, to see the way those crooks were knocked out.
Oh.
They're out cold. Both of them.
When I come back, I'll bring Two-Gun Taylor and his deputies, as well as Scar Fenner.
We'll watch these two till you get here. But I've
Steady,
got to show how
easy.
much I
One,
appreciate... Mary. Mary, that man saved your life.
And yours, Jim. And Dan Reed's as well.
You'll get Scar Fenner, too. You can count on that.
And he saved our gold mine. Oh, Jim, we owe everything to that masked man.
He's welcome to anything I've got. A whole gold mine if he'll take it.
Oh, Jim. He wouldn't take anything for what he did. He's a Lone Ranger.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate our shows in your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. And send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.